Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, I've got a live comm at home to Wrexham in the Conference North. But before we get into that, let's have a look at what's been going on over the last month or so. So that was the last game that we played on last episode. The 3-2 home defeat against Woking that was notable for my appalling substitutions and throwing a 2-1 lead away. Things didn't really get much better from there, but it was transfer window time, so we started to bring in some players. A few players have left. Damon Lathrope, 27-year-old, has come in on a free transfer. He's a defensive midfielder. He's much better than Adrian Pazicki, the player who has been playing as the defensive midfielder when we've used one this season. So he's going to be coming in, slotting straight into that position and hopefully providing us with a little bit more protection in front of our back four to stop us giving away some of the sloppy goals that we're sometimes guilty of. It didn't stop us in the next game though. We went to Bromley, we lost 4-2. Lathrope played, but didn't make any difference at all. And yeah, we got absolutely hammered by Bromley, which was a really disappointing result. We finally got rid of Matty Robson. Not exactly in the way that I would want to. I told my director of football that they could either sell or release him, not thinking that that would mean they'd pay him 18 grand to leave. Might not leave things in the hands of my director of football in future, but we've spent 18 grand of our transfer budget, bearing in mind we only had 5 grand transfer budget, on letting a player that we didn't really want leave the club. So we've now got a negative transfer budget going into the transfer window, which is not ideal. That was also not ideal. Lathrope, he's played one game. He's now injured for 2 months. Strained his knee ligaments. So that was a really significant difference-making signing. He'll be back just in time for the last 5 or 6 games, by which point we'll either be safe or relegated. So, yeah, glad I signed him. We did also sign another midfielder. We signed a few midfielders, actually. This is the first of several. Jack Blake, 22-year-old attacking midfielder, is coming on a free transfer. He not only can play in central midfield and is as good as anyone we've got in the club in that position, but he can also play as an attacking midfielder and gives us the option of playing that diamond that we've experimented with a little bit over the last few games. Certainly once Lathrope is fit as well, and we've got a proper attacking midfielder and a proper defensive midfielder, I am thinking the diamond might be a long-term solution for our ongoing search for a formation that works at this level. We signed another central midfielder, James Horsfield. This guy can play deep as a defensive midfielder, but is more comfortable in central midfield. He's a ball-winning midfielder or a box-to-box midfielder. We were a bit weak in this area. Once you got past Dixon and Tempest, we didn't really have much depth in central midfield, and as we've started playing with 3 central midfielders now, we were very susceptible to, if one of them got injured or suspended, we didn't really have anyone to come in, and I didn't want to have to change the system just because of 1 or 2 injuries. So Horsfield has come in just to add some extra depth in that position. We let Alex Gott go out on loan. He was our goalkeeper last season. Hasn't really played this season with Albinson being at the club on loan. And then with the new goalkeeper, Max Crocombe, coming in, Gott's found himself third choice. He's still a decent young keeper. I think time out on loan will do him good. And I fully expect him to come back next season and be our backup goalkeeper. And we also let Adam Meckie go. He was quite a promising signing earlier on in the season when he came in, but unfortunately he's a victim of our change of system. We just don't have space for wingers. Jack Hartley and Kane Felix are other players who suffered, and Meckie's gone to Harrogate to team up with Dale Southwell. I don't like Harrogate. We also let Zach Mills go to Margate. He's gone on a free transfer. He was an important player for us last year, but never really got into the team this time and just taking too much money on the wage bill. So happy to see him go to free up some wage budget for us. We then went away to Southport and won 1-0 for a Matt Godden goal. From this point onwards, we started playing a flat 3 in midfield, so it's a traditional 4-3-3. Purely because we've now got an abundance of central midfielders. They're all better than Adrian Pazicki, who's our defensive midfielder option. So I'm just playing the 3 of them across the midfield. And it seemed to work quite well. We beat Southport 1-0, can't complain about that. And then we signed another central midfielder, Justin McKay. He's 30 years old, but he is a bit special, a bit too good for us. Happy playing as a ball-winning midfielder, as a box-to-box midfielder. He's got a good shot on him. He actually scored a cracking goal in the next game, I think. And again, he's just adding to our options. And we've got a very strong midfield now to go, along with our very strong selection of strikers and an okay-ish bunch of defenders. So we're slowly starting to build a squad that deserves to be in Conference National, which is progress. We signed another fullback. I think this is the 5th left back I've signed in the last year. Don't really know why, other than the fact that he's marginally better than what we've got at the club. So he comes in just to add a bit of extra competition. He's young, he's cheap. I like left backs. We went to Boreham Wood and we lost. That was disappointing. Probably because I decided to play all of the new midfielders together. None of them were match fit. We looked really good early in the match when they were able to run around a bit and get involved. As the game went on, they all got tired. I didn't have enough options on the bench to bring them off, and we kind of let Boreham Wood back into the game, which was a bit unfortunate, but hopefully as they get fitter it won't be so much of a problem. Next game, McKay, this is where he scored a cracker from outside the area and then got himself sent off almost immediately afterwards. We were doing really well when we had everyone on the pitch. Once we went down to 10 men though, we let Cheltenham back in the game. Particularly disappointing to lose against Cheltenham because they're in the relegation dogfight with us, and obviously they're the team that I went for the interview at and decided not to go to, so it's not ideal to then be losing to them. I'd hate to finish below them. It would be very disappointing. We let Will Summerfield leave. Ideally, I would have kept him because he's a nice backup as an attacking midfielder if we are going to switch to a diamond shortly. But he was grumpy. He wanted to leave. There's no room in the squad for players who don't want to be at the club. So he's gone to Guiseley. And that is the transfer window roundup. So we spent more money than anyone else in the conference. It all went on Max Crocombe, about £10,000 on him. There was a couple of there was one other big money move, which was Alfie Potter, who went to Bromley from Northampton. And we actually brought in more players than anyone else as well, with 6 signings. And that is the picture for England as a whole. So Arsenal spending the big money on Hakim Ziyech. Don't know how you say that, from Roma. Man United signing Edinson Cavani from PSG, and Chelsea bringing in Danilo from Real Madrid. Chelsea spent the most money, £32 million, and Watford brought in 8 players in the Championship, just beating our 6 that we brought in. The board are starting to get a little bit fed up. They're only pleased with me now. They're not very pleased anymore. They're still happy with Colby Bishop coming in, but both the fans and the board are having a bit of a grumpy about Max Crocombe. I guess it was a lot of money to spend, and he hasn't come in and been as brilliant as I'd hoped he would be. Hopefully he'll settle in and become an excellent goalkeeper at this level, but it is a little bit worrying. We finally got rid of Matt Bevins. He came in the summer. He's a right back. He played once, I think, and then had a hissy fit that he didn't want to be a backup player. He's been training with the under-18s all season. I kind of forgot he existed. I spent most of the transfer window trying to get rid of him. No one wanted him, but Corby have taken him on a month's loan now, a couple of days after the window is closed, and hopefully he'll stay there all season now and we'll never have to see him again because he's just been a troublemaker, so it's nice to get him out on loan. And that's the league table as it stands, 33 games in. We're on 36 points, so we're still meeting my own personal target of more points than games played. It's all getting a bit tight down the bottom though. We're only 5 points clear of relegation. There's only 2 places in it, and we're playing Stockport in 2 games' time. So it is all getting a little bit tense down there, but I'm sure we'll be fine. We're going to win today anyway. So we're at home to Wrexham. Wrexham are 4th in the conference. If we do manage to beat them, it's going to be a fantastic result. That's the team we're playing. This is the system we've been using for the last few games now. So we've got Max Crocombe in goal. A fairly familiar looking back four. Field, Garner, Dunn and Cotton. Garner's coming in for Piergiani just because I wanted to mix things up a little bit. Piergiani and Dunn have been first choice for a little while now and we're conceding a lot of goals. So let's bring Scott Garner in, see if that makes a difference. Midfield, we're going for Kyle Dixon as the ball-winning midfielder, and 2 of the new boys, James Horsfield as a box-to-box midfielder, and Jack Blaken as an advanced playmaker. And then up front, this is a pretty settled combination up there now. We've got Colby Bishop as a target man on support, and then Matt Godden as a poacher, and Isaac Buckley as an advanced forward. attacking wise, it seems to be working quite well. The midfield needs to settle down and get used to the new system and the new players, and we need to stop leaking silly goals at the back. Yes, Garner and Blake are still not match fit. That's fine. It's the first time in a long while we've only had 2 players in the team who aren't match fit. And I'm hoping that the quality that we're bringing in, particularly in midfield, is going to start to make a little bit of a difference for us now, as they all start to get a little bit fitter. So Field's got the ball out wide straight away. Can he get in one of his super crosses? It looked like it was going to be another one of his brilliant crosses, but the highlight disappears before we get to score from it. I'm blaming the highlight. Probably would have gone in if it had carried on going. So Wrexham have got the ball on the edge of our area. We don't really want them to have it there, so we need to get that ball back and get it forward. But we didn't, and we conceded a goal. And it was a pretty sloppy goal to concede, actually. We gave them a lot of space to get the cross in, and then a lot of space to score it as well. That's a bit troubling. Let's look at that in 3D. So we shouldn't have let them keep having another go at the ball there. A lot of space for that cross, and we've left their guy completely unmarked there. Is that Jimmy Dunn who should have been marking him? Perhaps I dropped the wrong player. Never mind, eh? We've got time to get back into it. We're doing okay for possession. That's the main thing. Doesn't matter if we keep losing. Let's just keep the ball. That's what it's all about, isn't it? What? It's not? Oh, okay. Well, we're still keeping hold of the ball. We've got lots and lots of possession. We've not really created anything yet. But there's only 20 minutes on the clock. There's still time. Yes, our midfield's being outnumbered. But I can live with that. We are already starting to think about how to start incorporating this diamond. Might even be able to do it before our defensive midfielder, whose name I can't remember, is fit again, by sort of doing a sort of diamond where we could have the flat 3 and then withdraw one of the strikers and play him at sort of a 4-3-1-2. That's a possibility. We'll just have to see, I guess. But we've not really created anything in that half. That's a bit worrying. Possession's evened out as the half has gone on, and we've not had a shot on target yet. We're playing with 3 players up front. 3 good strikers at this level. They're all in double figures for goals this season. But, I don't know. They just don't seem to be scoring so much lately, which is a bit of a worry. Blake's got the ball here, though. Finds Horsfield, who gets the ball out to Field. Field's in a lot of space here to get a cross in. He does get the cross in. It gets to Bishop, and Bishop scores, and that's 1-1. And that is how it can work. When it works, it just doesn't work often enough. Field is such a good crosser of the ball. I still don't know why I brought in another left-back, because Field's been playing excellently since he's been a little bit more attacking. Godden brings the ball down well, finds Bishop, and Bishop just doesn't miss from there. That's our front 3 and fullbacks combine in the way they're supposed to. Why doesn't it do that all the time? Let me know in the comments. What am I doing wrong? Is it just that my players aren't good enough? Because I don't think I can bring in better ones. I'm bringing in the best players I can possibly bring in at this level. But let me know. I'm probably doing something wrong that I'm not paying attention to. Or I might be doing incredibly well to not be getting relegated with this fairly poor team. But we need to win the ball back here. We're giving them a little bit too much time on the ball in midfield. They've only got 1 extra man in there. And this is where we need Colby Bishop to sort of drop a little bit deeper. He's on a support instruction. He should be dropping a little bit deeper to make up the numbers in situations like that. But he's not really doing it. It's all going a little bit quiet. I'm getting ready to make some substitutions. I've sent both my strikers are on the bench. They're out warming up. So I think I'm going to bring one or both of them on, just to add a little bit more energy up front. So what are we going to do? I am going to bring them both on, I think. Or am I? I might actually bring Greg Tempest on for James Horsfield, who's struggling for fitness. So he can come on there, and I'm going to bring on one striker for now. So I'm going to bring on Jamie Wotton, and I'm going to bring him on for Isaac Buckley. Moraes will almost certainly come on within 5 or 10 minutes as well. But hopefully, Tempest will give us a little bit more energy in midfield, and Wotton is quick and can, playing as an advanced forward, can stretch our defence a little bit and create a bit of room behind him as well. None of that has happened though, and 10 minutes have passed. So let's bring on Junior Moraes for Matt Godden. He doesn't really like playing as a poacher, but I'm not playing him as a defensive forward, which is what he seems to want to do. And I don't want 2 target men. Come on, lads, we can get a goal here. I know Wrexham are a good side. 1-1 against Wrexham is a good result. But it's all so quiet. They're not creating anything either. You'd just think that we might be able to nick a goal. It's not going to happen though. Oh, if anything, they're going to. But Field's got the ball here. If he can launch a counter-attack. Back to Tempest. We've got the ball. This is all promising. Dixon now out to Field. Let's get a cross in. No, but he finds Blake. It's intercepted. Now Wrexham are breaking, and this is going to be heartbreaking when they score. Just wide. 1-1. 1-1 is a good result against a team like Wrexham. At least we're not losing anymore. And next game is important. The next game is against Stockport, who are 6 points behind us, and they're in the relegation zone. So that is an important game. In fact, what I might do is double up, do another live com. So yeah, why not? Let's do another live com. Right, here we go then. I think this is the first time I've done this, so second live com in this episode. We're away to Stockport. We're 6 points clear of them at the moment. They're just inside the relegation zone. We're just outside. We're away. We win. We build up a big gap and it's hard to get relegated. We lose, that gap is pretty small and we're right in that battle. We've made a couple of changes for the game. Scott Garner's come in for... Scott Garner was already in the side. Pierre Jani's come back in for Jimmy Dunn. In fact, I want to put Jimmy Dunn on the bench. He doesn't need to be... Oh no, but Asenso can play in midfield. But then so can Garner. So yeah, let's put Jimmy Dunn on the bench. So we've got those two at the back because I'm not happy with how Jimmy Dunn was defending for their goal in the last game. Midfield, we're bringing Justin McKay back in for James Horsfield. Other than that, the midfield is unchanged and the attack is unchanged as well. So let's hope that that little bit of extra fitness from the new midfield players just makes all the difference. They're playing a straight 4-4-2. We can win this game. Yeah, let's go out and prove a point. You tell them, Dele Adebola. Right. I did get a notification between the two games that both me and Dele Adebola have just finished our coaching qualifications. I'm sure I'll have a screenshot for you in the next episode because I'll forget that I've already mentioned it now. But yeah, you know, we're getting a bit more qualified now. Me and Dele, the management dream team. Now we just need to celebrate with a win. So Cotton's got the ball here. Good ball through to Isaac Buckley, who should have done better than that. That was a clear-cut chance. Buckley misses so many clear-cut chances and then scores little scuffed half chances that he's got no business scoring. He's such a frustrating player. If he could start scoring from his one-on-ones and his clear-cut chances, he would be a 30-goal-a-season striker. And it's just something we need to be working on with him. Stockport have hit the post there. That's a bit of a worry. Buckley's got the ball again, but the highlight is over. But yeah, if anyone has any tips for how we get Isaac, but I suppose it is just improving his finishing. I know the answer to that. Dele Adebola is a top quality attacking coach. He's just finished his coaching badge. Let's get him working 1-to-1 with Buckley on finishing, because that must be all it is. If he can improve his finishing, he is going to be a proper player. Blake's got the ball here. A lot of space for him as well. Bishop come deep, knocks it back to Dixon. Dixon finds Field. Let's get one of those crosses in. There it is, and Bishop scores, and that's 1-0, and that's a really important goal. Colby Bishop's 14th goal of the season. We're going to miss him when he goes back to Notts County next season. Hopefully, we'll have fixed Buckley, and we won't need him by then. I imagine by then we'll have gone to the full-on diamond, so we won't need 3 forwards. But that's a lovely finish from Colby Bishop. And he started that move as well by dropping deep. It's exactly what I wanted him to be doing in the last game and he wasn't doing. But he just came deep, started the move, arrived late in the box to finish it as well. And that's really top quality forward play. Field again with the cross. Doesn't quite hit the right areas this time, but it's such a threat, those crosses from Tom Field. We don't really want Stockport to be having the ball at all though. And that's a good save from Max Crocombe. Well played. And that was a clear-cut chance for Stockport. And that is why you spend £10,000 on a goalkeeper. In your face, fans and board, who don't think we should have bought him. He could have just kept us in this division with that save. Might be a little soon to be saying that in early February. But still. We'll review it at the end of the season. And Kyle Dixon has scored. That was bobbling around in the area. That was poor defending from Stockport there. If we watch that in the 3D, it was a poor corner and it's bobbled around a bit, but we don't care because, in fact, it didn't bobble around. It just looked like it did. It was a flick on from Pierre Jani onto Dixon, and it's actually quite a good move. I'll let you off, Stockport. We did well there. Not a lot you could have done. other than marking either Piagiani or Dixon properly. Right, yep, that's been excellent. Let's keep it going. I know it's snowing, I know it's cold, but we're 2-0 up. This is massively, massively important. And we just want things to settle down from here on in. I guess this is one of those times where I need to be thinking, at what point do I switch to a counter-attacking or a defensive strategy? And if I do, can I realistically keep 3 strikers on the pitch while I do it? Probably not. I do have Horsfield on the bench as an extra midfielder, so we could even experiment with our sort of half diamond as the game goes on and perhaps switch to a counter, but it's not going to be something I'm going to do if we let them score here, because I hate going defensive when we've only got a 1-goal lead. I don't mind sitting back when we're comfortable. It's probably very counterintuitive. Godden's got the ball there though, he loses out. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes or so before looking to make some changes, I think. We're doing really well for possession, we're creating a lot of chances. This is good. We're playing well here. I know we're playing against a poor team, but they beat us earlier in the season. I know we beat them twice last year, but it's good to see that we've come on a little bit since quite an embarrassing defeat against them earlier in the season. Right, Matt Godden, he's going to come off for James Horsfield. In fact, Horsfield can play as that defensive midfielder. I might go full on diamond. We have got the system ready. I have been playing around with it, so let's put Buckley as the advanced playmaker. We're going to stick Blake there. And we're going to do that, I think. Yeah, let's do that, but let's make it counter-attacking. And do we want to make another change as well? I might actually bring on Jamie Wootton as well, just because he's a really good advanced forward. And we're going to see how that works. I imagine I've just thrown the game away by fiddling with a winning system when I didn't need to. This is the first time we've used this version of the diamond anyway. We had a little experiment with a diamond I put together mid-match, but I sat and made this one outside of a match. We've used it in the reserves once, but I haven't tried it at all with the first team yet. So this could all go badly wrong. We're going to take Colby Bishop off, just for some fresh legs. Bring Junior Moraes on. We should really be able to close the game out from here, hopefully. Really hard to judge if this diamond's working. Nothing's really happening, which I suppose is a good thing. If we've closed the game down and there's no highlights at all, that's what we were looking to achieve with it. We've gone counter, we've shut the game down, we're keeping hold of the ball. I am a tactical genius, because, here we go, this is going to be the full-time highlight, I think. Blake's got the ball there. We're pretty crowded in the middle. Horsfield to Moraes to Wootton. It's 3-0. The only highlight since we changed system was us scoring a goal. I'm not going to call the diamond a complete success, but it's worked there, hasn't it? That's awesome. Not our kind of goal at all either. A lump ball forward, knocked down from the big striker. Nippy striker gets in and scores a goal. Proper non-league goal. But 3-0, very, very impressive. Exactly what we needed. And that is going to be a massive difference maker. Dare I say we might be safe at this point? We're up to 17th. We're 9 points away from Stockport, who are still right on the cusp of the relegation zone. We'll have a proper look at the league table in a second before I end the episode. I know it's been a long one, but hopefully you'll understand why it was worth putting in those 2 live comms. Let me know what you think about that as well. A couple of people have said they wouldn't mind a couple of live comms every now and again. Let me know what you thought. I've never done it before, but I'm interested to hear if you liked it, and would be happy to experiment with it further in the future. So there we are. We've got, 13 games left, and we're 9 points clear of relegation. We're not completely safe yet, but it's looking a lot better than it was 2 matches ago. If you've enjoyed that episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me, and subscribe to the episode, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future episodes. Thanks very much for watching.